Hillary, will you come and get your basket of deplorable super predators up out the street? Why are they rioting and tearing everything down, and why haven't I heard from you? Why don't you and Beyonce and all the rest of you, Miley and Katy Perry, come out and tell your people to stand down? You're not going to do that, though. This is exactly the type of anarchy that you wanted. But this is fantastic. This is actually a good thing. It's a good thing because it's exposing everybody's true intentions. Like I said in the previous video, these Democrats, these liberals are narcissistic. They're very narcissistic, and this is classic what we call narcissistic rage, okay? So narcissists create a false reality. They don't listen to anything that's contrary to what their beliefs are. They don't want to hear it. And if you confront them with reality or facts, they spiral out of control. So it's a mixture between the narcissistic rage and the demonic possession that they are under. Now, a lot of us have been watching on YouTube, or maybe you know from personal experience, about all the weird, creepy, demonic things that are going on in not only music, but in the entertainment industry as a whole, okay? Personally, I have seen, from working in the music industry, I have seen all kinds of creepy things, okay, that let me know that these people were up to no good. It didn't sit right with my spirit, and I was led in 2008 to some videos on YouTube that confirmed those things for me. But everybody who, believes what they see on YouTube, sometimes people say, oh, well, you can't trust it just because it's a YouTube video. But it was very clear to me from the beginning that there's some insider or somebody whose spirit did not sit right with what was going on, who came out and began to expose these people. And fortunately, it is spread, okay? And it has awakened a lot of people. I'll just give you one quick example. One time I went to the studio at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Cypress Hill was in there doing a live radio show broadcast, and they had skull candles lit. Why are you lighting skull candles at 12 o'clock in the afternoon? I don't even think Satan is up that early, okay? This is how not only demonic they are, but they have to stay in that weird satanic kind of energy, okay? Because the funniest part is, as I was leaving, I heard one of them say, didn't you get like a weird vibe from that girl? You burning skull candles at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm weird? Okay, sir. So this is why you guys cannot be offended by the things that you're going to hear these demonic people say to you and about you for voting for Trump, for being conservative, for being a Christian. That's what they're going to do. That is the whole point of mind controlling people and possessing them so that they could come and attack believers and people who have discernment and people who are awake, and to make you think you tripping. Okay, this is why I think demonic possession and narcissism goes together. I don't know if they're mutually exclusive or not, but the thing is, when you're dealing with a narcissistic person, that's exactly how they behave. You can't have your own opinions. You can't shed light on anything that goes outside of their belief system, because it will spiral out of control. Also, narcissistic people hate confidence. They hate people who have a light in them. They hate people who are attractive or who attract other people in a positive way. They absolutely hate it. They just absolutely can't stand it, because the narcissist is all about them. Okay? Now, the story behind the name of narcissist, is there was, I think it's Greek, and the guy's name is Narcissus, and he stares in the puddle, he stares at his reflection in a puddle until he basically drowns. Okay, so I want you to think of Instagram, where we literally have people taking 9 million selfies till they get the right one. Then they post it, and then they stare at their own selfies, Most of the people I think we will find on Instagram who are posting their selfies, these people spend as much time on their own page looking at their pictures and what they've posted previously, probably, as they do other people's stuff as well, okay? So they are very much in love with their own reflection. And these musicians who have come out and who have sang all this, music that we know has satanic themes and satanic messages and that kind of stuff, that hypnotizes them. The music videos desensitize them, and they get into, it confirms whatever they want to hear. Also, this music is introducing different themes to them. You know, these young girls wouldn't be dressing the way they are if they were not watching Beyonce and Katy Perry and Miley and all these people come out and do what they've been doing. For Miley Cyrus to be crying over Trump winning, this is the same person who's been dressing up like a rat. She dresses up like a rat. Why should we listen to who Rat Girl says should be the president of the United States? The fact that you people think you have any credibility is like beyond hilarious, okay? Now, I saw this coming with what's going on with the riots. I saw this coming when Nipsey Hussle and YG put out a song, I want to say earlier this year, called Fuck Donald Trump. Immediately, I was floored because, first of all, Nipsey Hussle grew up in a fairly decent neighborhood in Los Angeles. I happen to know that for a fact, okay? A neighborhood where you have a choice, for sure, on whether or not you want to be a thug or not, okay? A lot of homes, they're $500,000 to $700,000 homes. Professional people live in that neighborhood, and then the further west you go, he lives like in the wealthiest black neighborhood in all of California, okay? So it's comical for you to come out here with tattoos all over your face, trying to convince everybody that they shouldn't vote for Donald Trump, but you're not talking about policies. Donald Trump has never said anything bad about black people. He never called you the N-word. He never, what has he said? He came up with a plan for the black community that nobody even is wanting to discuss, as they're calling him a racist over and over and over again, okay? So there was definitely an agenda, and a lot of people saw early on how much they could profit from trying to bring Donald Trump down. All of that was a part of the process, because in this new, better, greater America, we're not going to accept these people as credible anymore, okay? All these entertainers just got knocked down to size to where they belong, is on a stage somewhere, not infused in what's going on politically, okay? You cannot come in here to the political arena when you don't know what you're talking about, okay? Now, they have called Donald Trump all kinds of things. I made me a list because I don't want to forget anything. So they called him a racist. Now, I want you guys to remember that when Donald Trump started The Apprentice, he had Omarosa on there, who I hope you guys know, she worked in the White House during the Clinton administration. She's a highly intelligent woman. She's gone on to do some other stuff as far as reality shows are concerned, where she's got into it with Janice Dickinson and that kind of stuff, and they gave her a bad name and all of that. But it doesn't take away from the fact that this woman is not only intelligent, but we've seen it at work, and she's helped Donald Trump to build that celebrity apprentice, or the Apprentice empire, period, right? And through The Apprentice, Donald Trump took women like Nene Leakes and LaToya Jackson and several different black women who we have only ever seen acting a fool on TV, okay? Acting a complete, absolute fool. Donald Trump is the one, not Oprah, not none of these other folks. Donald Trump is the one who put them in a platform where they can actually be entertaining and get some positive attention for something that they are doing using their brain. Kenya Moore is another one. Now, the fact that some of these people still chose to go on the show and act a stone cold fool, I mean, what else can he do after that? What else can he do? But they were not provoked to act that way in the same way that they are on the Real Housewives franchise and some of these other shows as well. And then the other thing, when he's talking about law and order, you know, people took that to have racial connotations. We know that Chicago and a lot of Baltimore, New Orleans, highly concentrated with black people, highly concentrated with violence, you know, murder capitals of the United States. And we do need law and order, definitely. And as a black person, a lot of times we feel that we have a responsibility, because a lot of times what one of us does can be perceived as a reflection for everybody, or at least it is to me. And on one of my videos, I received a comment that said, "You're not responsible for your race." You know, that's the first time I've ever heard that in my life. So thank you for that. And I thought about it and I pondered on it, because the reality is that black people are just as American as white people are. We listen to the same music. We eat the same foods. We don't have traditions really for the most part. So they claim there's stuff that has come over from Africa. I don't know what they are, except for the occasional jumping of the broom at a wedding. Okay, but or maybe the drum beat. I don't know. But for the most part, culturally, we're all Americans. Okay, so there's also a class divide that's going on here as well that is not really being addressed. And see, the media said white uneducated men are going to vote for Trump, white educated men are going to do this, uneducated white women are going to do this, educated white women are going to do this, and then they got to black people and said black men and black women. Okay, but the reality is that there is a big difference. There's a big difference in classes as well. You have wealthy black people, you got middle class black people, and then you have poor black people. Okay, so what I need politically and what they need politically are not the same thing. So we can't all be lumped in that same box. And with that being said, while I'm out here trying to make a good impression on the world for them, I'm not getting that in return. I'm not getting that in return. So I just want y'all to, black folks, think about that while we out here with a bleeding heart for them all the time, while they constantly embarrassing the hell out of us. And then when we go and try to give them information, or we tell them, hey, this is how you should do this, or this is better, this is what worked for me, they don't want to hear it. They do not want to hear it coming from us, okay? So at this point right now, we've had enough time now for everybody to come up to speed. Martin Luther King told you. Malcolm X told you. W.E.B. Du Bois told you. Francis Cress Welsing told you. I mean, how many black people have come up and tried to give you some pride and some information and some intellect and some... I mean, the list goes on. Delbert Blair, Phil Valentine, Bobby Hemmett. We could do this all day long. You've been told 950 million thousand times about how your behavior and what you put your focus on it could be detrimental to you, or it could uplift you. And we've also been told a million times about the power of educating yourself, etc. Which leads me to my next point. They said Donald Trump is sexist against women. First of all, Hillary played these people with that equal pay for women crap. You already have the federal protection under the 1964 Civil Rights Act. You cannot be discriminated against based on your gender, okay? So if you're getting paid next to the man sitting next to you for doing the exact same job, carry your happy ass to the EEOC building and go on ahead and file that good application. They will serve your employer within 10 business days, and I can guarantee they will get their act together. You can also visit the labor commissioner for your state, okay? Hillary played you, but then again, she's talking to a bunch of people who ain't got no job. Now, the other thing they talked about, he's a sexist because of what he said about, grabbing a woman by the hoo-ha. Listen here, we all know how these gold diggers and thoughts is acting. Not when you just had the girls from Love and Hip Hop doing endorsement for Hillary Clinton, are you going to turn around and try to talk about how Donald Trump talks about women? Oh, if y'all don't, give me a break. Give me a break. Okay? Marriage equality is another thing. They said he's against marriage equality. This is why you running around and you are riding in the streets. First of all, everybody got the right to get married, okay? But in some states, you had to get married to somebody of the opposite sex. Now, he never said he was against it. It's just should be a state issue, okay? But when you don't pay attention to class, you don't understand federalism versus anti-federalism. All we're trying to do is keep the government from controlling every single aspect of our lives, because that would defeat the whole purpose of this republic. The other thing, though, that I would like to see happen is for there to be legislation that says that a man cannot be classified as a woman or female under any circumstances. There are women who are damn near dying every day trying to give birth to children, coming out of that womb, hence the woo in the womb man, okay? So it's not fair for you to come and try to, first of all, take advantage of the class protection that belongs to women. Second of all, we can't be out here arguing and fighting with a woman that has the genetic makeup of a man, because it's not a fair and equal fight. It's not. And so I don't care if y'all come up with a third gender. I don't care what you do. But you are not a woman, and that is what it is. That is what it has always been, okay? Now, a narcissist will try to argue that point with you all day. Don't let these people make you think you crazy, okay? The sky is blue. That's a boy, and that's a dress. They called Donald Trump stupid. He went to Wharton Business School. So How is he stupid? Boop. Oh, and one more point. For those of you who would say, that's homophobic. It's homophobic. Let me help you out, because I have my master's in professional counseling. And this here is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM-5. This is the newest one. They've got agoraphobia in here. They've got arachnophobia in here. But homophobia ain't in here. So at best, it's a colloquialism or something like that, but it's not a real word. It don't mean nothing. And so you guys are just going to have to just be quiet. Stop being petty. Okay? You're so petty. That's why you was calling this man ugly and he's orange and ha ha ha. That's why we shouldn't vote for him. You worried about what people look like. You trust people based on what they look like. You distrust people based on what they do or do not look like. And that's what makes you a stone cold fool. Only a fool is relying solely on what somebody looks like as a basis for whether or not they know what they're talking about. That's just ignorant. It's absolutely ignorant, okay? They called him unqualified. How is he unqualified as a businessman when the United States government is a business? The United States is a corporation. Okay? Now, he's very much qualified to run this country, in my opinion. They talked a lot about his bankruptcies. They talked about the black people who got evicted, or they wouldn't rent to black people in some of his Trump Towers or something. I believe that was a family-owned business, and the whole family got sued in that situation. And that's a common practice for certain neighborhoods, have certainly been divided based on race. In New York, it's really good for that. Segregation is all over this country, so that should not surprise you at all. However, you didn't talk about his golf course and how he made sure that black people would be able to go there, because there are a lot of country clubs where you weren't invited. Okay? And nobody wants to talk about that. And like I mentioned before, putting Omarosa and a lot of other these black women in there has definitely shown that he is diverse. I mean, the man was golfing with Cedric the Entertainer and Samuel L. Jackson and all that before he put his hat in the race, and then all of a sudden all these people turned on him. So this is beautiful. We get to see everybody's true colors while you guys are out here, whoever's out here rioting in the streets. Go ahead, have at it. I'm not going to come out and protest when whatever happens to you happens to you. I'm not going to come out here and protest. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to say that's wrong. I'm not going to. This is the age of personal responsibility. This is the age of personal responsibility. I'm from South Central, so I don't want to hear it. Just because of the neighborhood you grew up in or where you were born, all of a sudden that means you have a license to act a plumb dumb fool your whole life. Because you don't. You do not. Okay? So, I'm going to do a blog talk show tomorrow. So if you guys want to I like your guys' comments. I love the comments, but I would really love to be able to talk to you, because, it's only so much you can say when you got to type. You might be on your phone, all of that. So we'll do a blog talk show tomorrow, and then as soon as I figure out what time, I'm going to post all of that under this video. Thank you.